I did that again.
What do you sure pray? I pray that my life will be great.
Good.
I pray that it will be great. I pray that I can be great.
Awesome. Okay. Who else would like a cupcake?
I'm going to talk about something that actually was a surprise to me because I really didn't intend to talk about it. If you would have asked me, Christy, it's time to talk about leadership with the youth, I would have said, well, okay, yeah, maybe, but maybe not quite yet. I would have said, yeah, but I can see that, but I don't think it's quite the time. But I had a dream. So I think it is time to talk about leadership with you guys. So before I talk about that, I realized that you guys may not know that you are already leaders, and you may not know that you don't feel like a leader now, that you for sure will be a leader, right? Because really everybody leads someone. Everyone has influence over someone, right? Okay, so why don't we all stand up and we'll do a little demonstration. Okay. Okay, so if you have a younger brother or sister, oh my, look at all those leaders, okay? If you have, if you have a younger brother or sister, sit down. If you have an older brother or sister, but they listen to you and they actually do the things that you suggest to them, then you sit down, because you can lead from underneath, okay? Oh, good. You two girls listen to each other. That's so good. Okay. So if you, let's see. If you have friends who copy you when you do things, then sit down. Okay, that got everybody. Well, if that hadn't gotten you, then we were going to go on the will be, which is if you're a male and you're going to get married, sit down. If you're a female and you're going to have kids, sit down. So really, I just wanted to prove a point to you guys so that you would understand what leadership looks like, because it doesn't have to be some big fancy, like I'm so important, I look like really important, everybody notices me and I'm leading. No, that's not really what it is. If you are a human on earth, most likely you're leading someone, unless you're totally isolated, right? Okay, so the question is not, are you a leader? Everybody in here say, I'm a leader.
I'm a leader.
Say it again, I'm a leader. Say it one more time so you make sure you believe it.
I'm a leader.
Okay, you guys are leaders. The question is not, are you a leader? The question is, what kind of leader are you? Okay? So if you know that you're leading people, where are you leading them to? What direction are you going? And how are you treating those who are underneath you? When I say underneath you, I don't really mean under you, I mean whom you have influence over, right? Okay. And actually, that being said, I'm a leader for you guys. However, if you come to me and you submit something to me, then in a way, really, you also have an influence over me too. Does that make sense? Because it's not like this, like everything comes from the top and it flows down and that's it. It's directional in both directions, right? It's, if Donna says, Christy, I was thinking about it and this is my opinion, and she submits it to me, then I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, you know what? I think she's right. Okay, well, I'm going to pray about it. But yeah, that sounds really good. Or if Esther says, Christy, I had a dream about you, and this is what I think it meant, then she might be providing confirmation of something God already told me, in which case she's also helping me and kind of leading me along, right? Okay, no playing with shoes, people. Okay, so is that something that you guys understand? Do you guys believe that you're leaders? If you actually believe what we just said, then raise your hand. So on. Okay, hands down. If you really don't believe that you're a leader, I'd just like to know. Raise your hand. Okay, I gotta work on 2.5 feet. Okay. Well, okay. That's to be proven later. Actually, no. Let's go back. So Brittany and Ashley, was it you and you? Or great, I don't know. Whoever in there it was. Are y'all gonna have kids one day? Are you planning to? Okay. Then you are a leader. You're a leader in training. Even if you don't feel like you're a leader now, you're a leader in training. You know what? Besides that, even if you're not going to get married and have kids, if you're not, guys, listen, if you're not going to go out in the workforce because you have kids, you're a leader. If you are going to be out in the workforce, then clearly you're a leader because there's all kind of people at your job who, when you say something, they listen. So, since the question is what kind of a leader are you, I'd like you to stop for just a minute and think about what you did last week or the week before that or last year or whatever. And why don't you ask God if you're walking the right direction? Because whether you are or not, I can tell you that if you look behind you, there might be somebody following you. Okay? Even if you don't feel that important. If you look at the piece of paper that we passed out, we're going to look a little bit at the leadership of Jesus because honestly, guys, there's no better leader than Jesus. There's nobody more qualified than him. What makes Jesus so qualified to lead us?
Love.
Yeah. It's the greatest love for someone to lay down their life for a brother. If somebody loves you, if I love you enough to give my life for you, then can you trust the decisions that I make for you? Well, when I say for you, I mean that have to do with you. Right? If Seth knows that I'm willing to lay my life down, like if there's a truck coming and it's either me or him, I'm going to guard him with my life. Then if he really believes that and knows that about me, then when I say, oh no, Seth, you can't have 25 pieces of candy today, I'm sorry, then it's a little easier for him to take because he knows that I'm in love with him. I'm so in love with him, right? Okay, so if you go, look on the piece of paper, John 10, chapters 11 through 18, says, I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd gives his life for the sheep. But a hireling who is not the shepherd, one who does not own the sheep, sees the wolf coming and leaves the sheep and flees. And the wolf catches the sheep and scatters them. The hireling flees because he is a hireling and does not care about the sheep. I am the good shepherd, and I know my sheep, and I am known by my own. As the Father knows me, even so I know the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. And other sheep I have which are not of this fold. Them also I must bring, and they will hear my voice, and there will be a flock and one shepherd. Therefore my Father loves me because I laid down my life that I may take it up again, or take it again. No one takes it from me, but I lay it down of myself. I have the power to lay it down, and I have the power to take it again. This command I have received from my Father. Okay, so when we look at the leadership of Jesus, we trust him because he's willing to lay down his life for us. And he has a plan to take it up again so that we can take our lives up in him. Does that make sense? So Jesus is a good shepherd. What did it say about the hireling?
He doesn't care about the sheep.
Okay. So if I was to pick up the newspaper and I was to go to the wanted ads or whatever, and I found somebody that had an ad out to be a babysitter, and I called that person up on the phone, and I was going to pay them, $1 an hour.
$1?
Yeah, exactly. And so they were going to come and watch that. Number one, that's ridiculous. Like, there's no way. I love them way too much for that. But if, perchance, I was to totally have a lapse of who I am for a minute and hire someone to come and watch them like that, would that person be willing to step in front of a bus for my child?
No.
Okay?
Well, unless you know them or you trust them.
Exactly. He said, I know my sheep, and I'm known by my own. Right? Jesus knows us. I know Seth. Seth is mine. He is my baby. I love that kid. So if there's a way for me to protect him, lay it all down. Like, I'm going all the way. Like, oh my gosh, whatever needs to be done, he is mine, you know? And I'm going to push him into the next place, even if it takes me laying my life down, right?
Bus bump.
Huh?
Bus bump.
Yeah. Okay, so why wouldn't a babysitter be willing to do that?
Because she
It's
doesn't
a dollar.
have
It's
a
not her
like that.
kid. It's a dollar.
It's a hireling. It's somebody that, yeah, they're here to do the job for what? Why would
For
she?
money.
For $1.
For $1.50 an hour.
Yeah, for $1.
Oh.
Okay? So that's my question. When you lead people, why do you lead them? Lead. If you lead your brother and sister, why do you do it? Because you care about them? Right? Your friends, you love them, right? If you help them make a good decision, it's not for your own glory, right? Well, I have a question. What if someone hires you to watch their kid? Then you're doing it for what? For money, right? Okay, I'm not anti-babysitting. Let me be very clear. Babysitting is fine. Y'all can do it. No worries. However, I'm just bringing you to understand that there's a difference. There's motives. Why are you doing what you do? Okay, when people lead worship, why do they do what they do? When they lead worship, are they leading worship because they love God and they want to help the people connect with God? Or are they doing it for something else? Glory, their own glory? Or selfishness, or promotion, or to be famous, or like to be on the internet? Or there's lots of reasons. I mean, honestly, we don't know. We can't judge the motives and intents of the human heart. Only God knows. Sometimes that person knows. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they really don't know why they're doing what they know, but what they're doing. But God knows, and God teaches us. And I want you to know that. I mean, no judgment and condemnation on those people, because I think we've all been there. You know, I think everybody's had a taste of one time they got attention for something and they kind of liked it, right? If you haven't, watch out for that. Because it's kind of nice when people notice you for something good. It's kind of not so fun when they notice you for something like you have strange ears or, you know, not so fun.
Or you eat
Okay.
too much.
Hey, don't talk about the size of my head.
Okay,
How much you eat?
okay, so
Not there.
okay, so what we're getting though is that there are motives for a hireling, but the motive is not love, right? The motive for Jesus is love. Love lays down its life when needed, right? Okay, so Jesus is a good shepherd. He's saying, I'm not a hireling. I didn't do it for... He's saying, I didn't do it for all those wrong reasons. I did it because I'm a good shepherd, because I love you and I lay my life down for you. Okay, so my question too, next question, is your friends, your peers, your whoever, your brothers and sisters, what are you teaching them? When they look at your life, or when you actually talk to them, what are you teaching them? Now, I'm not saying that you have to talk about God all the time and be really weird. I'm not saying that. That's weird. Don't be weird. Don't be creepy, okay? We don't need any creepy Christians. No creepy Christianity. However, you know, it's okay to be real and to be yourself and to have fun. You can talk to them about tennis if you want. That's fine. But when it all boils down and they see the message that you poured into their life, hopefully it's a message of love, right? Hopefully it's not like a message of, I'm going to step on you to get where I'm going. Because there are plenty of people that preach that message to us. Especially one day I'll be in corporate America, maybe. And I hope nobody preaches that message to you. But yeah, that's the message in the world is, get out of my way. I'm going to the top, right? Okay, that's called pride. Okay, so what did Jesus teach? Okay, John 7:16 through 18. This is Jesus talking to the Pharisees. Jesus answered them and said, my doctrine is not mine, but his who sent me. If anyone wills to do his will, he shall know concerning the doctrine, whether it is from God or whether I speak on my own authority. He who speaks from himself seeks his own glory. Did y'all catch that? Let me say that again. He who speaks from himself seeks his own glory. But he who seeks the glory of the one who sent him is true, and no unrighteousness is in him. When Jesus spoke, where did he get the message that he was sending out?
The one who sent it.
Oh, yeah, who sent Jesus?
God.
The Father, yes. Okay? So when you speak, whether you're talking about tennis or whether you're talking about how awesome God is. Okay, Peter, don't distract me. You're being too funny. Okay, so whether you're talking about some random thing or you're talking about God, but in the message quote that you lead people with, the hopefully message of love that you love them with, right? What is it? Where is it that you're getting this from? So if I have a relationship with you, and because of our relationship and our tightness, you listen to me, then I have an opportunity for you to see my life and for me to have an impact on yours, right? Okay, if the message that I send you, no matter what I actually say, if the message that I'm sending you is, get out of my way, I'm more important than you, I'm going to the top, and I'm going to use your head, and I'm going to climb up this ladder, just kidding. If that's the message I'm sending you, where did I get that message from?
Yourself.
Yeah, that's seeking your own glory, right? But if I look like Jesus, then I'm going to speak or show the message that comes from my Father, whoever my real daddy is, hopefully God, right? Okay, so, and then there's no unrighteousness in him. Yeah, where does unrighteousness come from? Where does sin, what's the major thing that causes so much sin? Lust, pride, lust. That's good. There's more than one kind of lust. If everybody thinks that lust is sexual, I mean it is, but there's also pride, need to grab power, greed, me first, all that stuff, all that selfishness, that's also lust, okay? What'd you say?
The I ones.
Yeah, all the I wants and me first in sign language.
Good job, Peter.
I want you.
Okay. Okay, so Jesus taught something different than the world. He taught himself. He taught what God put in him, which is love. Okay? Okay, so let's move down now to John 12:23 through 27. But Jesus answered them, saying, the hour has come that the Son of Man should be glorified. Most assuredly, I say to you, unless a grain of wheat falls into the ground and dies, it remains alone. But if it dies, it produces much grain. He who loves his life will lose it, and he who hates his life in this world will keep it for eternal life. If anyone serves me, let him follow me. And where I am, there my servant will be also. If anyone serves me, him my Father will honor. Now my soul is troubled, and what shall I say? Father, save me from this hour? But for this purpose I have come to this hour. So this is right before Jesus is going to die on the cross. And he's saying, I'm troubled, but what do I ask God to save me from the purpose that he brought me into this world for? Okay, what about, here's another way to lead. Another way that we don't think of very quickly. Say there's a kid in your school who hates you. Okay? They pick on you. Yeah, they pretty much wish you were dead. Like, they just hate you. They just, like, when you're there, like, something about you, they just can't even stand to be in your presence. Like, they just don't want you around. When you go to the bathroom, they try to trip you. Whatever. Say this person hates you so badly that they spread rumors about you. Anybody ever had someone spread a rumor about them? Yeah. Spread rumors about you. Maybe they, like, say mean things when you walk by. Right? Yeah, maybe they call you names, harass you. If you're Pastor Khan, he had lunch money stolen from him.
Oh yeah, I remember that
He
story.
told that story. Did y'all hear that story?
Yeah, I like
Okay, so here's another way to lead, guys. Shakota, guys, here's another way to lead. What if you spoke a message to that person, not with your words? What if, no matter what you say, what if the way you respond to them is a message that makes them know that there's something else, like they can't make you hate them back?
What do you mean?
Okay, if you're mean to me, you can't change who I am. If you're mean to God, you can't change who God is. Right? You can't draw something in God that's not there, that's not holy. Because you can't change him, right? What if when someone totally hates you and spreads rumors about you and steals from you and like does all sorts of evil against you, what if you pray for them and you bless them and then one day they have a need and then you hear about that need and you're like, okay, well, that person's not going to be my best friend right now. However, you know what? I really care that this really bad thing happened to them and I have a way to, soften or meet that need a little bit. And then you do it. What would that person think about who you are? I mean, maybe they don't know that you love Jesus. Maybe they don't have any idea about that. But what if they're like, oh, maybe I misjudged that person. Like, wow, I've never had someone be nice to me. I haven't even experienced that my whole life. There's something special. Maybe I want to get to know this person a little bit better, right? What if by the message that you don't even have to say, what if they see so much love in you that suddenly they've changed their mind and actually want to be your friend? Then you're leading that person. So in troubles, when you respond right, you actually can lead people who were your enemy. Do y'all believe that?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the point, okay? We have a choice. We can either live for our own glory, we can live selfish, or we can live in a way that takes from God and gives away, right? We take, if everything, true sons do get crucified, okay? But Jesus, when he was, right before he got crucified, he showed us something. And that is his willingness to intentionally lay his life down for us. What if, as true sons, as Pastor Khan spoke this morning, what if as true sons we choose freely to lay down our life for those who don't deserve it? And what if us putting aside our selfishness and our pride and like, oh, you're not going to treat me like that. I'm going to show you who's boss. Oh, you're going to spread rumors about me? Oh, I'm going to spread 10 rumors about you. What if we don't go the way of the world, but we go the way of God? And we end up leading the people who wronged us the most. Right? Okay. So this is what I want to explain to you. He says, unless a grain of wheat falls into the ground and dies, it remains alone. But if it dies, it produces much grain. When you die to yourself, to your flesh, when you surrender all the I wants and the me first, and the I got to step on you to get what I need, when you surrender all that stuff to God, and you choose to let your flesh die, you will bear much fruit. And that much fruit often will bring other people into the kingdom, right? Okay, so let's go down to John 13, 3 through 14. Okay. Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hand, that he had come from God and was going to God, rose from supper and laid aside his garments. Now, before I go any farther, did y'all catch that? Knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands. I think that I shared a scripture with you guys last time that said, Jesus said everything of his Father's belonged to him. And the Holy Spirit takes from what is of Jesus and gives to us. So if everything belongs to Jesus, and the Holy Spirit takes from what is of Jesus, which is everything, and gives it to us, and we take from what we have, which is everything, and we give it to someone else, wow, that's so awesome. Okay, so Jesus said, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, and that he had come from God and was going to God, he rose from supper and laid aside his garments. He took a towel and girded himself. After that, he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet, and to wipe them with the towel with which he was girded. Then he came to Simon Peter, and Peter said to him, Lord, are you washing my feet? Jesus answered and said to him, What I am doing, you do not understand now, but you will know after this. Peter said to him, You shall never wash my feet. And Jesus answered him, If I do not wash you, you have no part with me. Simon Peter said to him, Lord, not only my feet, but my hands and my head. And Jesus said to him, He who is bathed needs only to wash his feet, but is completely clean. And you are clean, but not all of you. He's talking about Judas. For he knew that one would betray him. Therefore he said, You are not all clean. So when he had washed their feet, taken his garments, and sat down again, he said to them, Do you know what I have done to you? You call me teacher and Lord. And you say, Well, for so I am. If then your Lord and teacher have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet.